Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to today's presentation, LinkedIn and your job search tools, tips, and tricks. My name is Lauren Johns, and I'm happy to be joining you today as the presenter for this information. This session is being recorded, so you will be able to view this at a later date. We will upload the presentation to the Indiana Tech Career Center YouTube page. So be sure to check this presentation out as well as the many others that we have done the last several weeks. So for today, we are going to jump into some of the more advanced features of LinkedIn. We talk a lot about setting up the LinkedIn profile and information that you need to have on your page and getting that well built. But we don't spend as much time showing you around some of the other functions of LinkedIn, and there are many. Today, I'm going to focus on the specific tools in LinkedIn for you when it comes to searching for jobs, looking up companies, finding alumni within the system. So we'll chat a bit about that today and then look for additional presentations in the future on other topics as it relates to LinkedIn and how you can get the best use out of it. So I am going to share my LinkedIn screen with you this afternoon, and we're just going to walk through and look at a couple different things here, and I'll navigate through the system and you can watch and then in your own time be able to use these to help in your job search. So here we are on just the LinkedIn news feed page. So when you're logged into LinkedIn, you're going to have a page that looks very similar to this. And what we're going to focus on this afternoon is how we can utilize the search bar function here, how we can utilize the jobs tab here within the system, and I'll show you how to find alumni as well. If you go up here to the general search bar here within LinkedIn, this is a multi-function search bar. So if you just start typing into the search bar, and I'm going to use Parkview as our example today, you will see that the system gives you a couple different ways to search for Parkview. I can look for Parkview in a people search, so everyone on LinkedIn that has Parkview within their profile. I can search specifically in jobs, so if I'm looking for potential employment opportunities with Parkview, I can start my search here, or I can go in and go directly to Parkview's company page and find out information about the organization that way. The other thing that you can do here is if you do have a particular search field in mind and you want to filter by that, you can filter by each of these individual search criteria. And that way you can just jump in, and if you know you're looking for a person, you can just search by people. If you know you're looking for jobs, you can just search for jobs, and so on and so forth. Okay, so that's the first way that you can use this job search function. Another nice thing that you can do here in this job search function is, let's say you're looking for a role and you're not really sure where to start. Maybe you want to reach out to a recruiter to help you in that search. We see that very commonly within the IT world. You can search for recruiters within this system simply by typing in the industry and field that you are searching for employment and putting recruiter behind it. So if I say I am searching for an IT recruiter, I can search this, and LinkedIn will source for me all of the IT recruiters here on LinkedIn. Now we can add additional filters into this, filtering by connections, locations, specific companies if you have a specific organization that you're looking for. But this does do a nice job of narrowing down that for you if you happen to be seeking assistance in your job search. Now, when you're doing something like this with the recruiter side, you just want to make sure that you are using professional etiquette when reaching out to recruiters. Recruiters receive a lot of connection requests, a lot of messages every single day. So you want to do your due diligence to be as precise and as concise and specific as possible when reaching out to a recruiter. You want to have done your research already and know in particular the type of position that you are looking for and within the type of company, type of role that you are seeking, and have your resume ready. And then when you're connecting and reaching out to these recruiters, utilize the message function to send a personalized message to them. It gets very lost if you simply connect with them and just send them your resume. That gets lost in all of the jumble. So you want to make sure that you're standing out there. So that would be a tip that I can share for you when it comes to reaching out to recruiters on LinkedIn. Now let's jump up here then and let's go back to our general search. Let's say we're interested in Parkview Health, right? And we're looking potentially for positions to work with Parkview. So if I'm looking for jobs at Parkview, I'm going to search Parkview in jobs. And LinkedIn is going to pull up for me all of the positions that are currently available within the Parkview Health system. And it is going to give me quite the range of positions, and you'll be able to go through here, click on them, and then in this drop down here will give you the full job posting. And will also direct you, if you're interested, to be able to click and apply. You'll see two different apply options typically within LinkedIn. You'll see the general apply button, which will typically take you to the company's website to fill out the app. But you may also see a link on here that says Easy Apply. And Easy Apply is allowing you to apply for the position directly through LinkedIn. So those are the two options that you'll see there. So if I'm looking here for a position within Parkview, I can see, if you are looking here at your connection bubbles, I can see that I already have 3 connections that work here at Parkview. So this would be a great way for me to go in. And if I had more questions or wanted more information and wanted to do an informational interview with one of my connections about working at Parkview, this would be the way to go. And we just did a great presentation and webinar on informational interviews that we've uploaded to the Indiana Tech Career Center YouTube page. So if you'd like more information on how to conduct those, definitely check that out. But that would be something that would be highly encouraged for you to do as you are pursuing your job searches, to be able to message and ask to speak briefly with one of your connections that already works at the company and have some of your questions answered. The other thing that I can do here within LinkedIn is I can go up and I can set a job alert. So if I know that I want to work at Parkview, and I don't necessarily see a position here that I'm interested in right now, but I want to receive job alerts in the future. So when Parkview posts a new position, I'm notified through LinkedIn about that. I can set up a job alert simply by turning this button on, and LinkedIn will notify me when there are new postings within the Parkview Health system, and then I can check those out. So it just kind of helps take some of the additional work out of it, and you constantly having to going in every day and looking. LinkedIn will do some of that work for you. Similar to other job search engines, you can do some additional filters to be able to narrow down your search within a company. So you can sort those. by whatever date they were posted. So if you only want to see positions posted within the last week, you can sort by various LinkedIn features. So I mentioned that easy apply button, some are available. You can search by how many applicants the positions received, how many positions have people that match within your network, and those types of things. Experience level is one that you may want to keep an eye on. If you are a new graduate, you'll likely want to be focusing and narrowing down your search by entry-level positions or maybe associate positions. If you are a student seeking internship, you can filter by internship and only show those. And then there's a host of additional filters available for the job search that you can set up. And then if you apply those filters, it will even further break down your search. I do tend to stay away from setting too many filters on a job search because sometimes it does remove some postings that may be quite relevant to you. So do just keep that in mind and be cautious in how many filters you set up. Now let's say I also want to know about Parkview. I want to know about the people that work there. So I want to know, and I want to search in people on LinkedIn, how many connections and how many employees of Parkview are here and active on LinkedIn. And so this is going to narrow down just by a people search and show me that there are roughly 37,000 results, 37,000 employees of Parkview on LinkedIn. Now that's pretty overwhelming in terms of, you know, the number of contacts and how many of those are, you know, going to be relevant for you to reach out to. So what I suggest doing there is paying attention to the connection degree here next to an individual's name. So you can see for me, I've got 2 connections on LinkedIn in which they are my first connection. We are directly connected on LinkedIn. I can automatically go in here and message them to ask them a question and chat with them further in a private message, a private chat. But I can also see my second degree. And if I keep going down even further, 3rd degree connections here on LinkedIn. It is often said that 2nd and 3rd degree connections are really your best resource when it comes to information and finding out more about companies, and to help you build your network. Utilize those 2nd degree connections. So I can make the assumption here that I've got, so Jeff Rice, Director of Talent Acquisition at Parkview Health, he is has connections in common with 85 additional shared connections with me. So Morgan is likely connected with Jeff, so that makes him a 2nd degree connection for me. Dina, she's connected with Jeff. That makes him a 2nd degree connection. So he would be a great person for me to connect with. That's going to help me build my network of Parkview connections if I am interested in business there or finding a job there. In my case, interested in continuing our relationship with Parkview here with the Indiana Tech Career Center. So I would simply ask to connect with him. And the biggest, most important thing when it comes to adding new connections is you want to add a note. You want to personalize this invitation and say something like, hey, it'd be great to connect with you. I'm connected and work a lot with Dina and Morgan at Parkview. You know, looking forward to adding you to my connections list, something along those lines. That's a huge impact. It elevates your status on LinkedIn. It makes you look even more professional, and it's likely that Jeff would respond to me directly if I left him a personal note and say, hey, Lauren, thanks so much for connecting. Looking forward to working with you. So be sure to keep that in mind as you're building your connections through your job search, okay? Now, the other thing that I can do with Parkview is I can go directly to their company page to find out more information about them. So this is going to give me general overview information about the company. I can go in here and see the home page and see things that Parkview has posted about, very similar to my news feed within LinkedIn. I can go into their About section and get a general overview of the company. You can break things down by some additional features. Jobs are in here, people are in here, videos they may have posted, all kinds of things. So this is a great resource to use in terms of researching the company and finding out more information about them. The other thing that you can do within a company is you can search in here and you can find in the people section, you can go in here and find out about their employees. Now, say I'm an Indiana Tech graduate and I want to know if there were Indiana Tech graduates that work at Parkview. By going into the people section and then going into this search box, if I put Indiana Institute of Technology, and search, I can see now that 179 employees of Parkview have a connection to Indiana Tech. They graduated from Indiana Tech, maybe they're currently pursuing a degree at Indiana Tech, and then it's going to give me some additional insights about this. So it's going to tell me a bit about where they live, it's going to tell me about what institutions they studied, and then scrolling down, I can see every single one of those 179 employees. So here is another great way to boost connections for you, to find alumni and students that maybe you had class with or that maybe graduated several years ago that have started their careers or moved into a career with Parkview Health, for example, and I can go in and I can connect with them. The other thing that I can do if I'm in the research stage is I can, look and say, I'm really interested in HR and I would love to work at Parkview within HR. So I can go in and I can look at an alumni of Indiana Tech. Let's pick on Brett here. And I can go through and I can look at his experience and see how he arrived at his role as talent acquisition specialist with Parkview Health. Was it a role that he accepted directly out of college? Did it take him a couple of years to get there? So this gives me a lot of insight into the path that a particular alumni took to arrive where they are today. So I can go all the way back and see that Brett started out as an HR intern at MedPro Group while he was studying his program. I can see that after graduation, he started out as a financial recruiter with Robert Half, and then was later promoted to staffing manager within the same organization within Robert Half, and then moved into his position roughly 2 years ago as talent acquisition specialist with Parkview Health. So you can get a really, a clear picture on, what types of things did individuals need to do in order to land the roles that they're in. This can help you see, if it's a position that's going to, be entry level, or is it something that you're going to have to get started somewhere else and work your way up. And then he would be a great person if you wanted to do an informational interview with, to request to connect with, and let him know your story. Let him know that you're, an Indiana Tech alumni, you're interested in getting into HR, you'd love to work at Parkview. Would you mind setting up a few minutes for me to chat with you about how you landed the role, what's it like to work at Parkview, those kinds of things. Using these alumni connections is going to be incredibly powerful for you. Now, the other thing that I want to show you in here is just how to search for alumni in general, since we're on that topic. So I can search for Indiana Institute of Technology. And I can go to the school page. And by going here, we've got, similar to, Parkview's company homepage, we've got a menu bar over here on the left-hand side. Homepage with the general news feed information, an about section, which is going to tell you about the organization, any jobs that may currently be open within the school. But what we're going to highlight here today is this alumni section. So simply by searching for the institution and going to alumni, this is going to give me a generous list here of the over 18,000 alumni on LinkedIn that have graduated from Indiana Tech. I can see where people are living. So, maybe I'm not from the Fort Wayne area. Maybe I am a student from the Elkhart area. I can filter down just by clicking on this and see the alumni from the Elkhart, Indiana area, 533. And I can see where they're working and what they're doing. I can clear those searches and start over and get, additional information. Maybe I want to search by company. Maybe I'm interested in working for Lincoln Financial. If I click on Lincoln Financial here, I can see the 131 alumni by scrolling down that currently work for Lincoln Financial. So again, similar to the sample I showed you with Parkview and connecting with Brett, you can do similar things here with the alumni feature directly from Indiana Tech's LinkedIn page. You can, similar to the search I showed on the company, you can break down your search by title, by keyword, by company. So I could come here to search for a particular alumni. So, maybe I don't necessarily want to search through all 18,000 Indiana Tech alumni, but maybe I'm looking for a particular student that graduated from Indiana Tech. So I can enter their name here. I'm going to use a DTF for my example here today. I can search for him and get directly led to his profile here, and I can see where he lives and I can see where he works. So that gives you a little bit of insight too about alumni. Now the other feature up here on the search bar that I do want to point out is the job search feature. So while I showed you how you can navigate and search for specific jobs just in the general search bar, and you can always do that. Like I said, it is multifunctional, so just entering in the search that you're doing will source that info for you. But you can also go into jobs, and the nice feature in here is that the jobs tab is going to pull positions automatically for you based on your profile. So depending on how well your profile is set up, you do want to have as much information on your LinkedIn profile as possible. The jobs feature within LinkedIn is going to automatically pull and filter positions of relevance for you. So you can come in here and have some automatic info for you and a variety of different positions, all pulled based on your particular profile. You can also go in here and do specific job searches. So, I could search for a particular role. Maybe let's go back to the HR. Maybe I'm looking for human resources. I can do a general search for human resources and then filter additionally from there. Or I can go here and search by particular city, state, location. So maybe I'm looking for roles within Fort Wayne. And then again, I can do searches. I can narrow by, how many miles am I willing to commute to work. That experience level piece, knowing that I'm potentially a new grad, or maybe I'm looking for internships. You can filter by that. So that's very useful for you to do in here. And then the other thing you can do is set up alerts for jobs. So, you know, maybe I'm looking for a particular position. Say that I set up that job alert that we talked about when I was walking through Parkview and looking for positions and said I wanted a job alert. This is where you're going to find those. This is the page where those will be listed for you. There's a couple other really great features in here within LinkedIn. So you can save jobs. You can review jobs that you have applied for through LinkedIn. There's the job search feature. There's an interview prep feature within this page where you can go in. And some of these features are only available if you've got a LinkedIn Premium page. I will preface that with that information. But if you do have a LinkedIn Premium account, you have full access to some of these resources, and this, you know, specifically this interview resource that can be very, very helpful for you. And then in the More dropdown, again, premium features of LinkedIn, LinkedIn Salary, and Resume Builder. So if those are of interest to you, that's where you can find this information. So those are the features that I wanted to be able to share with you today. Check out our Indiana Tech Career Center YouTube channel for additional information and additional webinars and presentations on LinkedIn, as well as many other topics. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you have a great afternoon.